Devon Burton, the saint and the sinner, here to give you lessons from a pimp around hiring talent. First thing I want to do is unusual. I'm going to show you a video clip with a real life pimp releasing a bitch from her duties. That is, releasing her from her employment. And then after that, we will go through and apply these lessons to your life as it relates to your professional work and your spouse or getting a spouse. Enjoy.
You got to be laying some cash on me. This car is all about hoe business. So if you're not in here to conduct hoe business, you ain't got no business in here. I got to leave you where you stand because it sounds like money ain't the plan. It also wouldn't be right for you not to work.
I did work last night.
I mean, I only talked to hoes.
I did work last night.
I only talked to hoes, right?
I did conduct hoe business last night because I gave head twice.
You in debt to
Didn't even get to take a shower.
You in debt.
So therefore, I'm not in debt. Trust me.
But I got to get going now. I don't want to waste your time.
I don't. Go fuck yourself.
Hey, don't slam my door. This bitch really just kicked my car. Let my shit be scratched.
What you just observed was the pimping having to let a chick know, I only do hoe business, which means you need to be going for the gold in the Olympics. And if you're not going for the gold, then you can continue going left and I'm going to continue doing right. And one of the big principles that you'll find is the pimpin' wants the baddest bitch, which means hire the best. You'll notice that the young lady was pretty goddamn mad because she wanted to stay within the stable, but every now and then I open up the stable and have some of them leave because I only want thoroughbreds. I'm like, yeah, go, you're free. And sometimes they don't want to be free. What you'll see is that she actually got mad and protested because she didn't want to be free, which, contrary to square opinion, you don't force them to work. If they don't want to work, they can get going. But the focus of what I'm saying for point A is hire the best. And the reason the pimpin' wants the baddest bitch, wants the most hardworking bitch, is because when you got the baddest bitch, the outcome will be more income. And for you, as an employer, as an entrepreneur, even as one seeking a spouse, you want the best. You want a thoroughbred. And that may mean different things. For a pimp, hiring the best doesn't necessarily mean the most attractive, because you want the highest earner. And it's not necessarily the most attractive girl that's going to earn the most. It's the girl who can create opportunities. When she sees a trick, she knows how to catch his interest. Here are a few characteristics you want to look for, whether you're looking for a bitch to put down on that blade, you're looking for a phenomenal employee, or you're looking for a great spouse. Not a bitch like Aisha Curry. God damn it. Steph, man, holla at the pimpin', man. Send that bitch my way. I tune her up, send her back to you. 3 characteristics. Characteristic number 1, you want a female who is honest. And that actually is very hard to find. Me, I always emphasize accuracy. Even if you're inaccurate, I consider it a lie. Bitch, if I said, what time is it? And you said it's 6 p.m., but it's really 5:58. Bitch, you're lying. I'm gonna need you to let a pimp know it's 5:58 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Accuracy. So you want to hire folks who are accurate, because people who are accurate, precise, detail-oriented, they are always going to get the job done the way the job needs to be done. Number 2, gets along well with others. Extremely important for a pimp that the bitch knows how to get along with others. And the reason is you need teamwork to make the dream work. Oh, and by the way, let me give you a quick definition of a pimp, because a lot of you don't know. I've even seen some suckers looking at my video saying, "This not the pimpin'. You don't know the ism." Young man, here's the definition of a pimp. A pimp is one who has a woman who brings him all of her money, 100%, and accepts him having other women who do the same thing. So you are not a pimp until you got 2 bitches or more. You can't just have one bitch, because you might just have a girlfriend that's really dedicated. A pimp is defined by 2 or more bitches bringing you 100% of what they earn. That's the pimpin'. Now, back to that second characteristic, which is gets along well with others. For her to be a bitch, she has to understand that she's within a stable, which means she's on a team, within a family, within an organization, and she must be able to cooperate and collaborate with the other individuals in that stable so that you can all profit more. I want a bitch that's going to be giving out whole tips and tricks to a new chick so that she can get on that grind. So she must get along well with others, because if she doesn't, she's then going to cause discord within the stable. She's going to cause people to be unproductive, because a happy hoe is the best hoe. A hoe that's smiling and laughing, that's a hoe that's asleep, as Iceberg tells you. That's the kind you need. And when they get along well with others, they're not thinking too much. They're not angry. They're happy. They're ready to get to work and get that bread. And also they're collaborative. So if they experience a challenge or a setback, they can help each other bounce back and rebound. They can be motivation for one another. You need a hoe that gets along well with others. Critically important. The number 3 characteristic is hard working. You need a hoe that's hard working. And I tell you, bruh, it's a fine balance, because you want a hoe that's self-motivated, who wakes up and says, whoa, I'm awake. I need to get on the hoe clock as soon as she wakes up. That's what you need, that instinct. As you noticed in the video clip, the young lady was not very hardworking. She mentioned that she had given head 2 times. That's 2 times in one night. 2? You get head 2 times? That's hard work to you? And the most important thing I need you to know is that some things you cannot teach. If a hoe shows up and she's not honest, she will never become honest. If a hoe shows up and she doesn't get along well with others, I assure you, you won't be the one to teach her to do that. And if a hoe shows up and she's not hardworking, she's a lazy, fall down bitch, even the best pimpin' can't get her to work. Even if you give her a pimp whooping, she only might work a little bit. So you need to get ones who are coming in the door with those 3 valuable traits: honesty, hardworking, and gets along well with others. And to my business folks, entrepreneurs who are creating businesses, one thing I know you know is as soon as you get a couple employees or a couple hoes in your stable, a culture emerges. You should be the architect of said culture. Now, when you bring a new bitch into the stable, she has to fit within the existing culture. If all your hoes call you daddy, she needs to call you daddy. If all your hoes call you master, emperor, that's what she needs to call you. She has to fit within the culture, because what you don't want is a bitch coming into the stable thinking she's a revolutionary. That's what you don't want. That will destruct everything. So you need to let her know out the gate, hey, this is the culture. This is how we get down here in this town. Because me, I'm Marquette. Bitch, when you come into my stable, you are in the United States of Marquetica. When you come into my stable, you are in Marquetadelphia. When you come into my stable, you are in Marquetafornia. Bitch, there's only one God in this stable, and you are a worshiper. You are obedient. That's how we get down here. And if you're not fine with that, get down, you can get out. But on a serious note, you really need to make sure that the woman who comes into your stable, or the employee who comes into your business, understands and appreciates the cultural norms. By appreciate, I mean they comprehend why you have your rules organized as they are. And they appreciate them knowing that your rules are created to create more revenue in your business. They know that your rules exist so that everyone gets along in harmony, so we can all collaborate toward one specific end, which is economic gain. So they must appreciate those rules. When I have a norm of being accurate, if a bitch doesn't comprehend why we need to be accurate, she's never going to work out. A bitch who appreciates it, who says, ooh, daddy, I love how you say it's 6:58. Because when I tell a bitch I need you to be dressed and ready to go in 120 seconds, I said seconds, not minutes, because I'm serious about accuracy. Bitch, I said seconds, not minutes, because I need you to be ready when I said be ready. Because we have work to do. And when I say 120 seconds, I think a bitch understands that there's no moving around. It's either your ass is going to be ready in 120 seconds or less. But if you say I need you to be ready in a couple minutes, how much is a couple minutes? Does anybody really know? A couple minutes could be 5, could be 8. But a bitch who understands and appreciates that accuracy and knows why we're accurate so that we can get our goals achieved. Because I'm taking data on my hoes. My hoes understand this organization is data driven. So once you bring in that paper, we're going to look at some data on what Molly, Sue, and Joanne brought in, and we're going to figure out who's unproductive, and we're also going to look into the data and see how we can improve productivity. So accuracy is critical. And the reason you need them to appreciate that norm is because once they've internalized the norms and the rules and regulations and culture within your organization, then the culture and the organization begins to drive itself. So a pimp doesn't have to say much. A pimp gets to sit back and clip a pimp's fingernails. And a bitch, you might say a bottom bitch, is the one directly managing that organization. You understand? That's when it's a well-oiled machine and the stable's juking, bringing in money. That's what you want when you have a strong culture, but you must be the architect of that culture, and you must bring in the right thoroughbreds who embrace the culture. I'm going to say something that you will hear me say across all of my videos. Honesty is critical. It is the responsibility of a pimp to convey your values and intentions very clearly straight out of the gate. In fact, the young lady on that video, when she first met me and I was dropping the game on her, she said, "Are you trying to pimp on me?" I said, 100%. Bitch, I'm trying to pimp you 100%. You kidding me? Clearly. And when I said that, she was like, "Oh, whoa." Because the people who called themselves pimps were beating around the bush. They're trying to build a whole relationship, act like they were her boyfriend, and then switch it into the pimping. No. The way you start with a bitch is the way you end with a bitch. So always start off pimping, because that's going to be pimping from the beginning to the ending. You heard me? Me, I tell them, hey, if you don't like things here, carry on. You're free to go. You even speaking of them leaving you hurts them, because they know out there is no one cut from the cloth that you are cut from. So when I say you pimp from the lip, that means you're using your brain. And you're leveraging your words to say the right things that will strike a chord in that woman. Not to say the enforcement doesn't have different levels to it, it does. But I always start pimping from the lip, not from the hip. And the most important thing to understand is that if you have rules, norms, and regulations, if they are violated, you cannot ignore it. You must bring down enforcement. If you don't bring down enforcement, it reveals that you are not a person of your word. You are not a person of integrity. How could you ever purport to have a company culture of honesty if you are not honest in keeping your word? So you must enforce, because you don't have rules if they don't have consequences. Fire quickly. If you have an employee that is not working out, fire them as soon as possible. Because the fact is, things rarely get better, they often get worse. Meaning that when someone comes in for a job interview, hey, they sound like €1,000,000. Then when you see them on the job, you're like, oh man, you got me. You really worked me, because that was a great interview you gave, but you're not such a great employee. Fire them quickly. What you saw in that video clip was me talking to a bitch. And when we first started talking, it sounded like she was a bona fide hoe. I said, fantastic, because I'm a bona fide pimp. I set the bitch down on the blade, and she didn't know how to get paid. And she also didn't want to accept any game. And she was lazy too. So I told her, hey, you got to go your way and I got to go my way. And there's no negotiation over that, because I'm a pimp. I only talk to a hoe. And if you're not out getting the dough, you're not a hoe. Why are we even talking? Well, that's me firing quickly. Met the bitch one day, put her on the blade that same night. Woke her up, said, hey, hop back on the blade. She said, I don't want to hop back on the blade. I said, well, you're wasting my motherfucking time. Kick rocks. Quickly. Every employee has much to learn, and you must train. But there are values that we have as individuals based on how we're raised, based on the culture we grew up on. And you cannot change those values. A disgruntled employee will pollute your culture. You must extract them as quickly as possible. Even applying this to your square life, a disgruntled girlfriend will pollute your circle, whether it's spreading negativity to your colleagues at work, or to your family, or to your friends, or to other women who could be interested in you. A disgruntled girlfriend, get rid of her, which means that if you've ever had a big issue with your girlfriend, whether you got busted cheating on her, or you did her wrong, or forgot her birthday, whatever the case is, and she won't let it go and she's now disgruntled, get her out of there. It'll never get better. If you have an ex who's coming back, don't fuck with her. It never gets better. They say don't burn bridges, but hey, if you already walked past the bridge, don't walk back past it. And the two last pieces I have for you is know when to say no. That's something that a pimp really understands. Really think, in that video, you basically heard a bitch pleading with me. I was conducting hoe business. You were, but not to the level of this pimping. I know how to say no, because she did bring me back money, and I'm sure she could bring me back more money with a little bit of coaching and motivation, but I don't have that kind of time. I'd much rather find a bona fide bitch who I set down on the strip, and she performs very well, and then I can give her some game, and then she can perform extraordinarily. That's what I'd rather have. A bad, hardworking, honest bitch that gets along well with others. That second point I want to instill within you guys, especially as you think about your spouses or women you're interested in, especially if you're a man of high value, you're a high earner, you're good looking or strong, you're going to find a lot of bitches trying to creep their way in there. And here's the issue. A woman will pretend to be something she's not to impress you. Now, guys do it all the time. It's usually petty lies about their car or their job or their income, material things. Women lie about who they actually fucking are. They lie about their values. They pretend they don't smoke cigarettes because they know you don't like the smell of it. They pretend they don't drink alcohol because they know that you're a Muslim. They do all kinds of things to fit in with you. But here's the problem. If they smoke cigarettes and are addicted, they'll go back to smoking. If the bitch has been turning up ever since college, she ain't gonna stop now. So even though she doesn't drink around you, she'll be doing it with her friends. They will pretend to be someone to catch you. You'd be wise to just hump them and dump them, because they don't change. No matter what they say, they will go back to their basic programming, my friends. So you have now heard a lesson from a pimp on hiring talent. Gentlemen, always go for the best. I do want to give a major shout out to Omar and as well Alva, who made donations, and I really appreciate it because, as you see, I invest money in you. We got a great studio set up, excellent video quality, tremendous editing, and compare these videos to what you see from those other guys shooting videos on cell phones and hotel lobbies. I mean, it's ridiculous. So I appreciate that you appreciate my work and the time and money I'm investing. Please do continue to support. Even $1 helps if you want to do more. So thank you very much. Marquette Devon Burton, the saint and the sinner, signing off. You have a great day.
Tune in at 1 p.m. for the new episodes of her social media fantasy world. Girl, don't Snapchat that. I might want to keep that. Send it on WhatsApp. Later, I might want to see that. When I think about how I beat that, I gotta go to work, but I'ma be back. Walking down the street when I get a G-chat.
Just to be clear, our relationship isn't going anywhere. I'm on Instagram and you don't follow me on there. Checked your Facebook and I don't see my picture anywhere. And what makes me the maddest, you won't update your relationship status.
'Cause I don't